Hey, Matt the Garden Guy here. Today we're going to talk about pests. More like pest control. Hey, before we begin to talk about pest control, if you're new here, or even you haven't already, please subscribe. The button will be right there on the top of this page. Also, give me a like and a share. Now, on to pest control. So you've worked so hard to have an awesome garden, yet to find that pests are destroying it. In this video, we're going to talk about certain organic, natural ways to defend your garden. Wood ash, just like I talked about in my soil video. If you haven't checked that out, go watch it. I'll put the link down in the comments there. A benefit of wood ash, it's a natural repellent to slugs and snails. Again, besides helping out the soil, it's a great natural pest control. After your garden has been watered, or at nighttime, right before the sun goes down, sprinkle it on the ground around your plants. The eggs of the snails and slugs will die because of the salt and other minerals that are in it. So yeah, that's wood ash. Again, if you want to know more benefits of wood ash to your soil, check out my basics soil video. So besides putting your eggshells in the compost, save some of them. Crumble up your eggshells and put a line around your plants. They will actually create a natural defense system, like a wall for ants. They can't go through it. Also, by putting the eggshells on the ground, birds will actually come down and eat the eggshells. Birds really need calcium post and pre-laying eggs, so they will snack on those eggshells. Birds are really good in your garden for a defense system. They'll fly through it, snatching those bugs and other things floating around in your garden. Note though, if you're going to put eggshells in your garden to bring the birds in, you're going to want to put like a mesh over your plants. Otherwise the birds will pick the leaves and destroy your plants. If you've never heard of nematodes, check these guys out. What they do is you put them in the soil and they hunt down and kill the enemy. The enemy are the pests. One of the best things about nematodes is that they kill fleas and grubs. Grubs, as we know, also turns into those Asian beetles. So, bonus for everything. So you would put the nematodes on the ground about April, or when the ground's about 50 degrees. I'd also have you refer to the package that you get to see what they recommend as well. So yeah, I did speak that they kill Japanese beetle. What they do is they actually kill the larva that the grub worms lay. So, you know, Asian beetles love leaves and fruit trees. So that's a huge win. Another thing to talk about is crop rotation. So we say crop rotation, we need it anyway because of the benefits of crop rotation for your soil. But also when those pests wake up in the springtime, they're going to be starving. So they know where their favorite snack is, so their favorite plant. So if you move that somewhere else, it's going to confuse them. Also with crop rotation, right, you're digging in there, you're putting them somewhere else, and what you're doing is you're disrupting their natural habitat that's in there. So as we do crop rotation, we pull that out, put it somewhere else, and in this one, we're digging a new hole to put something else, so we're constantly moving that ecosystem for those pests, and we're destroying it. So now let's talk about spacing. Spacing of plants. We know how important that is based off on our last videos when we talked about planting our garden. Planting your crops too close together causes overcrowding, which then causes diseases. Also, the overcrowding will bring in moisture, heat, the right environment for those pests to live in. So we want to make sure we keep our spacing. Again, if you need more information on spacing, refer back to my other video on planting your garden. I'll also put the link down below so you can have that. You can also plant certain herbs that smell strong. They'll actually deter the pets away. Examples of those herbs are basil, garlic, chives, thyme, and cilantro. When you're doing your watering, you're going to want to make sure you do your watering in the morning between 5 and 10 a.m. Best to get like an automated watering system. But the reason why we want to do that is we do not want to water at nighttime. When we water at nighttime, the leaves stay wet, the whole environment stays wet. Then again, that also keeps that habitat for those pests. So watering in the morning is the best time. Another one is your harvest time. So how many times do you harvest? right? If you want to make sure you get those tomatoes before they fall on the ground, or those peppers before they start getting holes in them, right? We don't want to keep things in there for the pests to eat. So the last thing we're going to talk about is the structure that your garden lives in. I recommend using a raised garden. There's many benefits of a raised garden. It prevents the critters from coming in on the ground. If you got a raised garden, they're going to have to get over and then in it. Make sure if you have a raised garden, you have some type of fence or a structure around it. That really will prevent things from getting into it. With a raised garden too, it's off the ground. For more information on raised gardens, stay tuned for my raised garden video that I'm currently working on. If you're not going to have a raised garden, that's fine as well. My blueberry patch that I have is right on the ground. I just have a fence going along the side of it so rabbits and that can't get in there. So after everything we talked about, wood ash, eggshells, nematodes, watering, crop rotation, harvesting, and the structure for your garden. And these are all suggestions. These are things that I personally use. They work great for me. Every environment is different. I would suggest trying a couple things and seeing what works great for you. Hey, if you liked my video on pest control, please give it a thumbs up and share it. Also, if you're new here, or if you have been here before and you haven't already, please press the follow button on the top of my page. That really helps me out. And as always, until next time, keep growing.